Hello, my industrious, frugal-minded friends. Can you stand another Panama pool video? Should I make the banking video while I'm in the pool? It seems like it would lose some of the seriousness of it. No comment. Alright, look. Panama banking is in turmoil. Some of you might know that Panama has been demonized and bashed in the media, and because of that, the banking industry is recoiling and putting up their defenses and putting up their guards. And what that translates to is that you have to jump through a bunch of hoops, or rather they request you to jump through a bunch of hoops, higher and higher hoops, just so you can get an account. You'd think they were giving you who knows what, but all you need, everybody needs banking in order to survive these days. So it seems like this banking system in Panama has changed. A lot of the information that's available about Panama in the business category is outdated, woefully outdated. Panama as being a good business center, or the business center of the Americas, or the 80 international banks in Panama, all give the impression that there's going to be some kind of ease of doing business, which means banking. Yeah, the banks have fallen completely off the deep end in Panama. Here is a promotional piece that makes it sound like Panama is inviting digital nomads to stay, work, and eat. Well, Panama isn't inviting digital nomads at all. This is a private company promoting its business through online article marketing. And the article's about how digital nomads can use this company to further their, as a tool in their travels, as a place to do business. But Panama isn't inviting digital nomads at all. On the contrary, the banks are shutting their doors on most digital nomads. So someone made a distinction. I'm not taking any credit for it, but somebody made a distinction between location-independent entrepreneur and a digital nomad. While the wealthy location-independent entrepreneur just simply delegates jumping through these hoops to his professional team and has the money to spend on it, the everyday digital nomad that might be just starting out, or micro entrepreneur, is basically being either blocked out or put in a position, a precarious position of having a lot of demands placed on him that are a financial challenge. Digital nomads welcome in Panama? No. Location independent, wealthy entrepreneurs are off the hook. For the purposes of this conversation about banking in Panama, I think it's important to talk about that briefly. And the difference would be that a digital nomad would be someone that, as soon as they have some online funds coming in, just a small enough amount, he's gone. That's a digital nomad. It could be $600 a month, $800 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month, even $1,500 a month. This digital nomad is making just enough to survive or pay his bills, and if he's a professional frugalist, he actually knows how to live very well on those kinds of means. The location-independent wealthy entrepreneur, in contrast to that, is location-independent, meaning he he doesn't have to go to a place where you can live on, you know, he's not in a hurry to go to Ecuador just because he's, you know, people say you can live there on small means. He can live anywhere. They can live anywhere they want, like, for example, Panama. And that's why, that's one of the reasons why, one of the things that puts upward pressure on the prices in Panama is a lot of these wealthy entrepreneurs that come here that push the price up on everything, including the real estate. I have a good source that is close to the situation, and this fellow is squeaky clean and doesn't have anything, any reason for anyone to, you know, not want to do business with them. You know, in the business world, it is understood that, and in life in general, I would say, our intention is to shake hands and do business with those we trust. It appears that something has changed in Panama because the banks treat you as someone that's not, as if you're someone that's not to be trusted. The complete opposite of that. And so what they are asking is for you to bring your 20 years worth of dossier. If you bring your dossier, is it dossier or dossier? I know that's a French word. They want you to have your W-2 basically glued onto your forehead. Now, it appears that Panama is catering towards the location-independent, wealthy entrepreneur, because these are the kind of people that have the money and already have systems in place where they are already spending money on lawyers, accountants, you know, just professional fees, and they have all this stuff going on already. But for, say, just an average person that is maybe not at that place, it comes down to the banks demanding that you do things that you weren't already doing. And this requires money. It requires more money than you were maybe willing to spend in order to get banking. Why do I say this? Well, my friend was asked why he needed a bank account. He said he was going to buy a piece of real estate and maybe rent it out or something. He was told he was going to have to get a real estate license by the bank. Now, just to buy a piece of real estate, just so he can have an account. And he was asked a bunch of other stuff too. That's not even the end of it. You know, the banks are being totally irrational. They're irrational in Panama. They're fearful. I know a guy that was asked for a tax return from a country he hasn't even lived in decades. Just stuff that is nonsensical, that, you know, makes no sense, and you would never be able to provide. You know, this is not the kind of environment that's conducive to easy business base, or, you know, this kind of thing. So that's why I say that all of the information regarding this subject is completely outdated and out of touch with the reality of today. Now, Panama started out years ago by being a tax haven, and it got a lot of attention for that, and then it got a lot of bad press for it and slowly started turning things around, but it was still a good business base for a while. But it seems that for one reason or another, you know, the demonization of Panama has just continued, and because of that, it seems that Panama has responded by reverting back to some of its old ways, because I understand that Panama was engaging in certain cultural ways of doing things that were not, in other words, big business was leaving Panama and people were becoming unemployed and things were turning quite negative until the light bulb went off and said, wait a minute, we need to change the way we're doing things. We need to make it easy for people to do business. And as I've said in other videos, the best way to do that is not to tax and regulate, but the complete opposite is to remove regulation and remove taxes. And that's what they did. But it seems that with this turn of events, it seems that Panama may be reverting back to its old ways. One would think that Panama is simply trying to be more transparent, but one has to realize that if you go too far with that, you may just be reverting back to your old ways of putting on too much bureaucracy, and because bureaucracy is a discouragement to getting things done. So that's the way it looks from here, and thanks for listening. Perhaps in the future things will be different, but we don't know. So thanks for listening, and have a nice day.